Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ishtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya. चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Canto 4, chapter 21, verse 37. Mahajatu teja prabhaven mahardhivis itikshaya tapasa vidyaya cha dedipyamane ajita devatanam kule swayam rajakulad vijanam. The Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are personally glorified by their characteristic powers. Characteristic powers of tolerance, penance, knowledge, and education. वृद्धिभिः मा जातु तेजः प्रभवेत् महारद्धिभिः तितिक्षया tapasa vidyaya. By dint of all these spiritual assets, Vaishnavas are more powerful than royalty. It is therefore advised that the princely order not exhibit its material prowess before these two communities and should avoid offending them. So, one who has tolerance, penance, knowledge, and education, such Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So, royal order should not exhibit power over them. Prthu Maharaj has explained in the previous verse the importance of devotional service for both the rulers and the citizens of the state. Now he explains how one can be steadily fixed in devotional service. Okay, please note. This we cannot understand from just reading the verse. Prabhupada is saying now he explains how one can be steadily fixed in devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while instructing Srila Rupa Goswami, has compared the devotional service of the Lord with a creeper. Bhakti Lata. A creeper has feeble stem and requires the support of a tree to grow. And while growing, it requires sufficient protection so that it may not be lost. While describing the system of protection for the creeper of devotional service, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has especially stressed protection from offenses unto the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. Such offenses are called Vaishnava Paradha. If one commits Vaishnava Paradhas, all of his progress in devotional service will be checked. Even though one is very much advanced in devotional service, if he commits offenses at the feet of a Vaishnava, his advancement is all spoiled. In the Shastras, it is found that a very great yogi, Durvasa Muni, committed a Vaishnava Paradha and thus for 1 full year had to travel all over the universe, even to Vaikuntha Loka, to defend himself from the offense. At last, when he approached the Supreme Person of Godhead in Vaikuntha, he was refused protection. Therefore, one should be very careful about committing offenses at the feet of a Vaishnava. The most grievous type of Vaishnava Aparada is called Guru Aparada, Guru Aparada, which refers to offenses at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. In chanting of the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this Guru Aparadha is considered the most grievous offense. What is this Gurur Aprada? Gurur Avagna Shruti Shastra Nindanam. Among the 10 offenses committed against the chanting of the holy name, the first offenses are disobedience of the spiritual master. So Guru Avagya means disobedience. This is the most grievous offense. Is Guru Avagya. What is Guru Avagya? I've explained this multiple times, but again, what does this mean? Hare Krishna. Anybody?
Not following his instructions.
Not following his instructions. Okay. How does it manifest? How do devotees end up doing Guru Avagya?
Considering Guru as a normal person.
Okay, considering Guru as a normal person, and then just not taking whatever he's saying seriously. Huh. No, one is nobody hears. Most devotees don't hear from their Guru. First thing. Second thing is even after hearing, and just say, aha, maybe this is not for me. Hmm. Or yeah, like Rajat Prabhu said, just considering Guru as a ordinary person, and just not paying attention. In every statement that comes from the lotus mouth of the Guru is an instruction for his disciples. Every statement, every word. It doesn't have to be personal instruction. It doesn't have to be personal instruction. So we have to note basic mood we have to understand here. The basic mood is understanding the desires of the Guru and following them, trying to implement them. Mm. Yesterday I saw one message on our group, Jagannath Darshan group, message from His Holiness Prthu Maharaj, and at the end, at the end of that message, I read the whole message. It was a very beautiful message. At the end of the message, he said, there are many things that I have to do in the service of Srila Prabhupada, which are his instructions to me, and all of them are listed in, I think there's one app. So I said it's listed, they're all listed there, and you can kindly pick up anything from that list. So it's like this, sometimes gurus, Vaishnavas, they don't directly tell that you pick this up, you take this up, do this, but it's a desire, it's their desire. Mm. So I was wondering, saying that how many devotees who saw that message actually know the desires. So it's very important for disciples especially to be very, very eager to follow the instructions, because otherwise we can't make spiritual progress at all. This is the first offense, disobedience. Just like I said, it's not talking or not, we don't have to say anything also. Just hearing something, ignoring it is disobedience. Many devotees many times ask, saying that why you're not making progress. Simple. This is the reason. That's why Prabhupada says here, saying that, one can be steadily fixed in devotion. So not only just, fixed, but we can also make serious progress. A simple definition of a Vaishnava is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A person who immediately reminds one of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, is a Vaishnava. In this verse, both Vaishnavas and Brahmanas are mentioned. A Vaishnava is a learned Brahmana and is therefore designated as Brahmana Vaishnava, Brahmana Pandita. or as a Vaishnava and Brahmana. In other words, a Vaishnava is supposed to be a Brahmana already, but a Brahmana may not be a pure Vaishnava. Mm. When a person understands his pure identity, Brahma Janati, he immediately becomes a Brahmana. In Brahmana stage, one's understanding of the absolute truth is mainly based on the impersonal view. When a Brahmana, however, rises to the platform of personal understanding of the Supreme Lord, he becomes a Vaishnava. Mm. So you should understand, Vaishnava has to be a Brahmana. That means all the qualities of a Brahmana. And Prabhupada said ISKCON is to create Vaishnavas by training. How do we create Vaishnavas? By training, he says. People have to be trained to become Brahmanas. Hmm. A Vaishnava is transcendental even to a Brahmana. In the material conception, the position of a Brahmana is the highest in the human society. But a Vaishnava is transcendental even to a Brahmana. Yeah, just because Vaishnava is transcendental even to a Brahmana doesn't mean that Vaishnava should not have the qualities of a Brahmana. He's surpassed them. He's gone past them. That means that he already has those qualities and now he's gone reached a higher stage. Hmm. Both the Brahmana and Vaishnava are spiritually advanced. The Brahmana's qualifications are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Truthfulness, Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Arjava, Satya, Shama, Dama, truthfulness, mental equanimity, control of the senses, power of tolerance, simplicity, astikyam, Brahma, then knowledge of the absolute truth, firm faith in scriptures, and practical application of Brahminical qualities in life. Mm. Truthfulness, mental equanimity, control of the senses, power of tolerance, simplicity, knowledge of the absolute truth. So, up to this, it just completely just basically means not attached to things of this material world. So then these qualities will develop because somebody wants to lie because they have some vested interest to achieve. Mind is disturbed again because of some material thing. Senses are uncontrolled again because of some material things. We are having to tolerate because we are intolerant. We are intolerant towards material things. We complicate things because again we want to achieve something in our some vested interest. Mm, or we are attached to material things, right? So one section of these qualities, just he's just not attached to anything of this material world, right? Second, then he has knowledge of the absolute truth. How does he get the knowledge? From scriptures. So he has firm faith in scriptures and he applies all these qualities in his life. Vignanam. In addition to all these qualifications, when one fully engages in transcendental loving service to the Lord, he becomes a Vaishnava. In addition to all these qualifications, so we can understand that we have still not come to the stage of being a Vaishnava. At least I can speak about myself because these qualities have still not manifested, or at least they're there here and there, little bit, but not possibly to the extent that it is required to become a Vaishnava. So please remember that this Brahminical initiation or whatever, it's not a status, it's not some position, or it's not some event. It's a state of mind. It's our qualities. It's how we live. Mm. And a Vaishnava who actually is living these qualities of truthfulness, mental equanimity, control of senses, power of tolerance, simplicity, knowledge of truth, firm faith in scriptures, practical application, and engaged in transcendental loving service, he becomes a Vaishnava. So, according to this very high standard, to be even called a Vaishnava. But of course, then there are different levels of Vaishnava, neophyte, Madhyamadikari, then Uttamadikari. So, this is at least higher end of Madhyamadikari, this one. Mm. Prthu Maharaj wants his citizens who are actually engaged in the devotional service of the Lord to take care against offenses to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Offenses at their lotus feet are so destructive that even the descendants of Yadu who were born in the family of Lord Krishna were destroyed due to offenses at their feet. Of course, this was external. The Supreme Person of Godhead cannot tolerate any offense at the lotus feet of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Sometimes, due to their powerful positions, princes or government servants neglect the position of Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, not knowing that because of their offense they will be ruined. So we have to be very careful. And what is this offense? Is basically one is disobedience, the other is criticism, right? Mm, when we don't have adhikara. Criticisms when we don't have adhikara is also considered offense. Mm, Of course, if it is constructive, if it is not out of envy or some personal, uh, you know, some yeah, having some personal agenda, right? Then it is not considered as an offense. But generally, it is safe to just um, follow one principle, which is unless somebody is under our direct guidance, we don't have the authority, adhikara, to even criticize or comment. Mm. But if we are in very responsible positions in an institution like ISKCON, then we cannot just keep quiet, fearing Vaishnava aparadha, especially when things are going haywire. When Prabhupada's instructions are not being followed, some new things are cropping up. Then people in power, especially people like GBC presidents, etc., they have to because they have that responsibility to protect ISKCON. Mm. So they have to. They cannot keep quiet in the name of Vaishnava Aparadha because they have that responsibility. So of course, then there's a way of dealing with Vaishnavas, etc., etc. So it's a complicated topic. But for us, simple people, we should just not criticize any Vaishnava because it's our one of the um demoniac qualities or non-divine qualities is fault finding. 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells this fault finding is a non-divine character. He doesn't put it under devotional character, demoniac character, but he says that aversion to fault finding is a divine character, is a godly quality. Aversion to fault finding. So we are generally this fault finding nature, right? When we look at something, anything, because what is this fault finding? Fault finding simply means that it is not according to me. That's all. No, according to me, whether it is as per Shastra, whether it is my own thought process, that we have to be very careful, right? We cannot just simply, maybe it's not according to my thought process or my vision or my view of this world. It doesn't mean that I criticize. In general, this critical, critic being critical about things, we have to be very careful. That is why it has to be based on Guru Sadhu Shastra. If it is based on Sadhu Shastra and we have adhikara to say, then it is okay, right? Mm. If we know something, if we have read in Prabhupada's books, etc., right, and if we know that somebody is doing something wrong, what should we do? Because what is happening today, somewhat in ISKCON, is the complete opposite, as in fearing this Vaishnava Aparadha, like nothing is being spoken at all. Nobody is even telling that something is wrong, right, in the name of Vaishnava Aparadha. So what should we do if we see somebody doing something wrong, which will harm ISKCON, not simply not following rules or polluting some environment in some temple center, whatever, right? Contaminating it with material consciousness, material thought process, whatever. What should we do? Assuming we are not obviously in power. Power meaning position to correct. What should we do? Should we do anything? Should we just keep quiet?
Try to convince by
Try to convince.
Shastra.
Try to convince whom?
The one who is
Oh, no. Okay. Okay. What else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Like not take their association.
Not take their association. That's very self-centered. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is fine.
Hmm.
Okay, then.
Prabhuji, we can talk to the higher authorities, like
Hmm.
whoever is
We
a
have to.
mentor.
Yeah, we have to talk to the higher authorities. This is the most important thing to be done. We have to identify higher authority and we have to notify them, right? Because it's our, actually, we should remember this. Unfortunately, devotees in ISKCON don't take this as their responsibility. This is one of our responsibilities, being a person, who has got the mercy, who's like, because of Srila Prabhupada, we've been so mercifully allowed to do bhakti. And our little responsibility towards the ISKCON that Krishna, that Prabhupada has created is to protect it, right? And when somebody is doing something wrong, which is, you know, not acceptable as per Shastra, we should notify. We should notify. We should never talk to people directly. Please understand this. Unless we have the authority, unless we have the adhikara, that's why I'm using this word again and again. We should not directly talk to them. And we should not also keep quiet. We should go find their authority and let them know what is being done, what is happening. Then it is left to them, that authority, to take, solve for it, not solve for it. Because if they don't, then they become responsible for it. But we have because we have to tread a very thin line between Vaishnava Parada and ignoring wrong things. Um, and it's not about, it's not a material transaction. Like in material dealings, we'll say, try to speak to that person, try to give some, logic, blah, blah. But we know inevitably in the material world, we have seen when we try to give some logic, somebody just gets upset. Mm. And if a Vaishnava gets upset for whatever reason, then we are gone. Right? So it's very dangerous because also so many things are involved, right? So simply find the authority. Many times, unfortunately, we find there is no authority. People are independent. Then we have to just go and report to whoever is, if it is in a particular temple, then temple president has to be notified or something like this is happening.
Hare
So we
Krishna
have to,
Prabhu, sorry, Hare Krishna Prabhu, like you say, you should not go approach the person directly. Suppose you know that devotee well enough. I mean, you could talk to him. He's like
very,
telling. Then even then you shouldn't.
yeah, very dangerous, because what happens is, see, we are dealing with Vaishnavas right now. We might know somebody very well, but the topic might be so sensitive that by us approaching that person with the topic, if that person feels bad, even if the thought comes in the mind saying that, unless like really, I mean, like, yeah, like extremely close and actually mutually say, "Hey, we are helping each other in bhakti," then it's okay, because then we have kind of accepted each other as like, you'll tell me when I'm going wrong, I'm telling you when I'm going wrong, then it's fine. Then it's an understood relationship of, guidance, not just simply I know this person, right? Many times I've seen devotees actually are okay, where they're dealing with each other very nicely, etc. When till it comes to the position of advice, of instruction, of giving some input. And when you give some input, suddenly then you see it's a different person altogether on the other side. So we have to be very careful, because if by chance that devotee just feels bad, saying that who's given the right to this person to tell me, if whatever, whether that person is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Vaishnava cannot be hurt for whatever reason. We might be wrong. How do we know we are correct? Right? So it's always safe to go to a higher authority. Always safe. Like I said, unless we have mutual understanding that we are helping each other in making progress. Yeah, Prabhu.
Truji, as a person who appreciates, something being told directly, I would not appreciate if somebody is going behind my back and
No, it's not behind the back. It is the protocol. It's the protocol. And it's not about our appreciation or lack of appreciation. It's
Mhm.
about protecting ourselves from Vaishnava Aparad. And it's very dangerous because it will kill our bhakti. So it doesn't matter whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, but
First thing is you have to know that if it is coming from somewhere, first of all, instead of worrying about where did it come from, the important thing is to note, okay, it came. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, did I do that intentionally? Did I do that mistake? How do I correct it, etc. Right? And making sure that such things don't come to me again from whatever sources. It's not important. Why somebody didn't tell me is false ego. It's not, I mean, why is it important? It's like people, talking about, did we fall from the spiritual world? Prabhupada said, what nonsense. I mean, just figure out how to get out of this place, right?
Yeah.
We have to be objective about our life and, situations. Is all this business about, why didn't somebody tell me directly? You should understand the situation has been so created that somebody couldn't speak to you, right? So is that a good thing? Who is responsible for that creating that situation? So anyway, there's so many things. This is a mundane viewpoint. This point about, they should have come and told me directly is a mundane viewpoint, mundane approach. The Vaishnava society approach is to take the authority route because it is safe for the person who is involved. For all people involved, it is safe, right?
Yeah.
And it's also
Question for
important that one sec, I'll just complete. It's also important that we as devotees, we are actually receptive of these kind of inputs that come from, anybody who are higher up to us. Right? Because if somebody comes and tells us and, either we are if we are not constructive about the feedback and making sure that we change, that can result in great harm. It might harm our spiritual life, right? So we have to be open and receptive. And at the same time, we have to make sure that those instances reduce and stop these, right? Yeah.
Actually, there are two things there, Ro. So one
Mm.
thing is that sometimes these things become one-sided, that the higher authority doesn't know the matter. That is one thing. And the second thing is that if the person is feeling bad in the first place, that there is a risk that if the directly communication is being made, then the devotee might feel hurt. Even if the complaint comes from higher authority, then the false ego might still be there, right?
Yeah, that is a big problem. That's what I'm saying. So then we are in a very pathetic state of consciousness that our false ego is jumping up and down even when something is coming from an authority. Then we have to really introspect, saying that what are we trying to do? We are not doing bhakti at all then, if that is the case. Second thing about your point that yeah, maybe the full story is not heard. That is the maturity of the leader. That is the maturity of the leader. How to It's not like somebody comes and tells us something, we'll just take it at face value and then suddenly act on it, right? The whole point is there's a approach to deal with these things, right? And it requires a lot of maturity and obviously, right? So that is the reason why coming to some position of responsibility in a devotee community is a very, very risky position, right? Risky job. um right, so it requires yeah, I mean, one has to be really completely first based on fixed in the knowledge of Shastra, self-controlled, right, to a great extent. mm, should know how to deal with other devotees without hurting them, but at the same time, giving them understanding that of right and wrong. For all this, actually, one of the things that Prabhupada always said was a leader is one who is top class in Shravanam Kirtanam. And what happens by that is other people naturally develop a respect. If other people, if those who are under somebody's guidance are not respectful of if suppose we are in position of authority and they're not respectful of us, then that's a very, very difficult position, because we got some position, but we have not acted in a way that people have developed respect towards us. Then the whole thing goes for a toss. Then this is one of the big problems that can destroy devotee community. So leader means best in Shravanam Kirtanam, in that congregation, right? Only such a person should become leader, because otherwise naturally there won't be natural respect, won't be there. Then all these kinds of things, like you're saying, why did somebody come and tell, blah blah blah, because you are speaking without knowing who that person, as in if the person from whom the message came to you, if you're respectful of that person, and if you respect his or her, I would say his spiritual, accomplishments, etc. Then you would possibly deal with it much better than somebody else whom you would not respect equal as much, right? Or whom you might treat as equal to you. And that is the reason why these things, authorities are authorities, right? As in,
Yeah. I think one thing which very importantly you told that even if somebody comes to know about this thing, then he should be humble to receive that as a feedback rather than
absolutely, absolutely. Otherwise, we are gone. We are already one step into the grave.
Hmm.
Okay, anything else? So this is important. Kindly note, everybody. Please don't ignore wrong happenings, right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like this is
Yeah.
a very tricky question. When you're saying not to. Now, recently I won't mention name. Recently, I just happened to be. I usually never. I'm never in a meeting or never there. One Guru Bhai was very rude to another senior Guru Bhai, very senior.
Yeah.
And my Prabhu was also there. Everybody is there, and this complaint was not for the first time. And I know both of them. I mean, not much. Then like I told the other Prabhu who was rude. I said, Prabhu, could I just have 2 minutes with you? And I just told him one thing. I said, see, with the grace of Guru and with the grace of the Lord, we are here. We've given position which we could not even have attained. Like if it wasn't for this little movement, hum pata nahi kidhar hote. Aaj you're occupying such a position in the temple, or you're so important there. I said we should at least have that etiquette to not scream at a person like this. Like on your he said it's only with this Prabhu. I said only with this you need to work. And so many times, Prabhu, like I like one to one, like even with me, like I have a problem. I mean, I go one to one. I talk to, I can't say even seniors. Like I think he's mature enough to handle me, and I do it. You can't go to. I mean, I think it's. I don't know how to put it across.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Mataji, just one thing in this, this our perception of whether we handled it well or not is not important. This is why this is so risky. Because see, we will possibly take a mundane view of saying that, okay, I think I spoke nicely to to that person. I didn't, I was very controlled. I was I weighed my words and, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, if in case, this is so risky, I'm just, spelling it out. If by chance, the devotee happens to be more advanced than us, however, we have no idea, right? We have no idea who is more advanced, amongst devotees, because yeah, it's not something which is, there's no measure, right?
Absolutely.
And if in case the devotee is more advanced than us, then we are gone. And if in case the devotee feels bad, then we are gone. It doesn't matter how well we spoke or how well we dealt with it, blah blah blah, right? So which is why Vaishnava Aparadh is a very, very risky thing. We can't just we can't just use our mental capacity to say that this is what it is, because We don't even know the status of the individuals involved, spiritual status of the individuals involved. Because if somebody is more advanced, Krishna naturally loves that person more than us. Simple. Full stop. That's the end of it, right? Actually, this Vaishnava Prad, it's like even if the person might, uh, you know, mm, mm, might forgive us, the dust of the lotus feet of that Vaishnava will not forgive us. It's so dangerous, right? So, which is why it's very safe to not try to directly engage. It's super safe. It's super safe, right? And at the same time, we should not close our eyes. We have to be constructive, and for us to be constructive, you have to be based on Guru Sadhu Shastra, not on personal whims, not on personal views, approaches. It's not about, oh, you should not have done like this. No, that is my approach versus somebody else's approach. Or is it, oh, okay, no, this is as per Shastra, not correct, it is wrong. So even topics, right, to be picked up, which ones need to be discussed, which ones are just coming up because I am fallen, because it's my fallen state that I'm looking at something and thinking it's wrong. Maybe it's just my fallen state. Maybe it's not wrong at all. So it's a very, very deep topic. You can go on, for few hours to discussing this topic. But uh, fundamental is we have to be very, very careful. We are in the community of devotees, right? And if suppose that's what this stature of the Vaishnava whom we are dealing with, unknowingly, if we are dealing with person more advanced than us, then we are in serious trouble. So better not risk it. And we won't know. See, the sad part of it is that we will never know if we did a mistake. And our bhakti is we are not able to make progress at all, and we are putting all the effort and we are struggling, and then we know that mostly it is some Vaishnava Aparadha. Because otherwise, generally, the anarthas, yeah, we are doing bhakti properly. Anarthas should naturally go and we should make progress. But if it is not heading anywhere, one of the most, that is why Prabhupada starts off this purport, right? How to remain fixed in devotional service, meaning not falling down. Basically, that's what he says. Because if you do Vaishnava Aparadha, then we fall down. Meaning our spiritual stature keeps going down and down and down, meaning our sadhana will go down, our taste for hearing chanting will go down. Our desire to be in devotee community will go, association will go down, everything will go down. So dangerous. Yeah, okay. So Shweta Mataji is asked, what should we do? We should go fall at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava whose feet we think we have offended. We might not have offended also, but even if we think that I have offended somebody, you just go and fall at their lotus feet. There's no other way. There's nothing else. No other solution. Okay. Anything else?
Prabhuji, one point related to this is that there might be a risk of we hesitating in continuing our close relationship with that person, thinking that probably there might be more risks of having these intercations, right? Altercations. So basically, lifelong that thing might be affected, where we might not get a chance to improve our relationship with that person or that devotee, right?
Why?
Because you always will have a doubt that what if my actions are hurting this devotee and this devotee is not telling me frankly, right? So while in the other way around, where we can actually come to terms by mutual understanding, that
No, mutual understanding nahi hai, Baba. Please, you have to come out. This mutual understanding means we are equals. We are talking about somebody could be senior to us in bhakti.
Okay.
So the whole point is that we go fall at his feet or her feet and then say, please, if I'm doing anything which is hurting you, please let me know so I can fix it. I'm falling at your feet and asking for guidance, for you to instruct me, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. It's not, I mean, that's why I'm saying we are coming with the thought process saying that, oh, yeah, I mean, we are equals. No, that's the whole point about Vaishnava life. Vaishnava life is about, that is why we are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about Trinada Pisunichena, Dasa, 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 Anudasa. Because
Yeah.
this is our mental disease, that we think that we are somebody. And we think that we are equal to another Vaishnava. Or even maybe beyond, above. It's just our illusion and foolishness that we think like that. And that is the reason why we have to be very careful. And I'm telling all these things, it's not for others, it's for me as well. I mean, because I have serious challenge, because I'm dealing with so many devotees, right? And that is the reason why generally it is very, very important to set the bar on Shravanam Kirtanam. And of course, Sadachar, the way we deal with people, the way we how we deal with people, how much so it's so many things involved. It's not a easy thing, right? And unless somebody comes and asks for guidance, right? I also make it a point that I don't instruct people unless somebody asks, right? um Personally, especially, right? In a class it's okay, the idea is to give something, but personally telling somebody, even though I can see possibly so many devotees maybe not up to the standard, etc., etc., I won't go and tell them unless they're doing a mistake, and provided they're also seeking my guidance for making progress, right? So I mean, I could take a higher, I'm senior, whatever route, right? But senior is not by years. Senior is by love for Krishna, right? So it's very, very difficult to say. It's very, very difficult to say. So better never consider ourselves worthwhile, equal to any Vaishnava. It's just safe. What is
Yeah.
our criteria for considering that we are equal to somebody is just very external, mundane, mental, right? But bhakti is not mental. Nah, I mean, yeah, so many things to can be said about this, but yeah, generally, right? So we should never think that we have the right to say something. We are just doing this as a service to Prabhupada. If we are even trying, if there is something wrong happening, right? We are only doing it with possibly two intentions. One is with a compassion for the devotee, if in case the devotee is doing something wrong and if it is going to affect his or her bhakti, that is one compassionate angle, because of which we should possibly look at this. Second thing is to protect ISKCON. That's all. There is no personal agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Prabhu, just got a thought. I don't know whether it is correct or wrong. But we know this is very risky. That is first thing. And we don't know at what level also we are, like we can't identify the
Correct.
level of bhakti in the offer. Then simply we can surrender to Krishna only, no problem. Like we don't have authority or we don't have level to
No,
correct
if we don't
also.
have authority, then we should not. That's the whole point we are saying, right? But depending on Krishna means what? Arjuna depended on Krishna by doing what? By
He
fighting.
surrendered to Krishna.
What is the outcome of the surrender? Krishna wanted him to fight, right? So please understand one thing. Surrendering to Krishna doesn't mean inaction. Surrendering to Krishna doesn't mean inaction, right? Do you think that all the great Vaishnavas have not surrendered? They have surrendered, but they're also doing action, meaning they are taking response to you. They are going out preaching. They can just say, okay, I'm surrendered to Krishna. I'll just sit here. Maybe all the souls will come to my lotus feet. I don't have to go and distribute books. I don't have to go and preach. Everybody is doing, right? Why are they doing action? Because we are expected to do action, and we have to do action in a way that is acceptable as per Vaishnava rule, as per Vaishnava etiquette. That's the point. And this is also about controlling ourselves, not bringing out our false ego, surrender to Krishna. Actually, we are surrendered to Krishna because this is Krishna's moment, right? And Krishna wants it to be protected. He's put us in that position for us because so that we protect something, right? Then we can't say no, I'm not going to do my duty.
Because I was thinking like if we can pray in Krishna regarding this, if this is happening.
No, Krishna will
Like,
say, I want you to do something about it. Go and do. See, we should not see in devotional. It's like this, Prabhu. Suppose somebody is in great distress, okay, and you see that person in great distress. He's rushed in front of you, and you're just standing there and praying to Krishna. Krishna, please help this. Krishna is telling you, "Arey Baba, isliye I have sent you. Do something about it. Why are you just standing there and not saying anything? Tell him, isn't it?"
yeah.
We have to do that when we've tried and when things are not going in any way. Then we say, okay, Krishna, I tried to the best of my ability. Now I don't know. I left it to you. Because Krishna wants us to do at least devotional activities. He wants us to do, right? Otherwise, who will do? If devotee doesn't go out and distribute books, who will do? Krishna is expecting us to do, right?
Yeah.
That
Thanks,
okay,
Prabhu.
Kashank Prabhu?
Yeah. Prabhu.
See, just I want to clarify. I know where your confusion is coming from. See, when it comes to material things, also, we can be simply surrendered to Krishna, but see, Pandavas. When Ashwatthama, he fired those Brahmastras, 6 Brahmastras, 5 for one for each Pandava and one for Parikshit Maharaj, who was in the Ombaputtara. All the Pandavas, they don't even look at Krishna. Krishna is right there, right? So they just take out their weapons. They're just trying to contract because they're Kshatriyas. They expect that's their duty. They have to protect themselves. They have to protect the citizens. That's their duty. So it's not like they're looking here and there, calling emergency, Krishna, where are you? Please come take care of this. No, they're doing their duty. But they're surrendered. They're dependent. Okay, if we have to die, it's okay. It's Krishna's will. But we'll do our duty. So surrender doesn't mean inaction. Please, always, we have to remember this. Okay, anything else? Anybody?
Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah. Is that okay? Clear? Topic is clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll close. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devcha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnava ki jai. Just a caveat, right? So I'm just speaking here because I'm taken up this service. So it's not that I'm trying to say these things to to prove a point to anybody, right? So if I hurt anybody by way of my words that I used or sentences, I apologize. I'm asking for forgiveness at your lotus feet. I'm just trying to do a service in Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. That's all. Nothing more.
Yes, Surya, I think very right. I mean, you are doing the service only, and a lot of confusions topics actually. So thank you for clearing that. Yeah. I think one very important point you said that in this mutual dealing, we think that we are equal. That's a very important point.
Yeah.
That we have to think that there are seniors also in bhakti level. So that is one point which is my takeaway today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
ಬಹಳ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
We were not nodding, not exactly what is aparadha. Simply like, okay, bhakti, we were fixed in bhakti. We were thinking we have to progress in bhakti. For aparadha, like basically I was not even knowing at all. Like when I started initial also, now okay, this is aparadha, okay, these are there. Those things you are getting us to understood from scratch level, Prabhu. So thanks for that, Prabhu, because when we know only we can see and understand, or from like we can think of it, okay, this may result something. So those
Yeah.
things you are clarifying.
Yeah. What I'm saying, what I have said might not be even 100% because this is to the extent of my knowledge and understanding. This is a very vast topic, but generally, what I've read Prabhupada's, various statements, etc., conversations, etc., right? Both are required, right? Being humble, being knowing, accepting that okay, I'm not in some position to maybe correct, but at the same time, we should not ignore. That's the subtle point. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam
Thank
ki
you.
jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.